Welcome everyone. This is Nurses in Charge, Nurses Week event, day number 4. And we are so blessed to be here together to celebrate nurses, connect nurses, empower nurses globally. And a component of our empowerment starts with burnout prevention, starts with self-care, and extends to that global well-being that we are targeting and making sure that our nurses are well and equipped to do their job, keep their career longevity going on, and also just doing the best they can always do. So today we have the privilege of listening to Carla Jansen VanRosendaal. She is a burnout preventionist, and you will read more about her later on. I have posted stuff in the chat for you to follow up, but you have her live today. She has such a great presentation for us. So get a seat, get ready, and she is ready to go. Thank you, Carla, for being here today. Thank you to all of our NIC members who have joined and are joining. Thank you for our guests who have taken that challenge to come today and experience just a little bit of NIC. Welcome. And before we get launching, I will say a short word of prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. We bless your holy name. We say, come and be with us, enlighten our minds, be with our presenter, be with our guests, and bless NIC Global in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Nyampo. First, I want to thank you, Nyampo, for just organizing all this, for being on this world and be able to get all these nurses worldwide inspired, empowered, and whatever. Well, I mean, a lot more, and especially now Nurses Week with everything that you organized and all the people that you got in. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful that I may do my little talk here and inspire also people about stress and burnout. I am myself a retired nurse, haven't been in nursing for quite a while already, but I was in there for 20 years. And I really still remember how tough it also was. It was the greatest job on the world for me, but it was also tough. And the amount of work, the physical, the emotional strain, dealing with patients who, because they are in distress, are not always the nicest people to us, but we do understand why they do it. And to be able to be open for understanding them, to feel our passion, to stick with them, to care about them, that passion comes from our heart. The thing is that when we are having high stress levels, that passion will go down a little bit more, and that is seen worldwide. And it's not because we want it to go down, but it's because our own stress, we simply cannot handle it anymore. So we all want to be there, not only for our patients, but what about yourself? You want to be there for yourself as well. If we take care of ourselves, we have so much more energy, passion, and everything that we can use to take care of our patients, but also our team members, because we are a team. Worldwide, nurses are a team. So let's make sure we can stay open for all that and empower ourselves. We can do that ourselves by reducing our stress. Well, I'm already a stress specialist and burnout and mindset coach since, in 2011, 10. That's where I specialized in stress. And I did dive deep in it because I got into a burnout 3 times. And the 3rd time I realized I really need to go deep dive and do really something about it. Because taking it easy, like that said a lot of times, take it easy and do fun stuff, is not gonna work. Going on a holiday is not gonna work, only for the time that you're on holiday. But as soon as you're back, like bang, you're back in the stress as well. But we can do something about stress very, very easily. So I want to take you with me in the PowerPoint. to talk about that. And let me share my screen for that. Let me know, can you all see my screen here?
Yes. Yes.
Great. Great. Let me get the chat open in case people do have questions. Oh, now it's big. So there we go. All right. Stress, breaking the burnout cycle, because there are so many people in the burnout, but we can break that cycle ourselves. We can be the masters of our own stress. So this is the global workshop about that. And for an hour, I only can take this much from the knowledge that I have. And that that you can use, but I did pick out what you can use most of it. And when we understand how stress works in the body, it makes it so much easier to do something about it when we are aware of that. So that's what I want to go into a little bit more. There are several topics that I go about. We're going to look at stressors, the symptoms, the fact that stress is measurable, because that's necessary, because we do not feel stress too much anymore. Only when it's way up there, that is where we feel stress. Like, how can I do this? Well, there you go. Nursing is a vocation that's fueled on a passion to care for a patient. We must harness that passion. I love that, Nyampo. I love that comment very much. That is so true. Gosh, that thing doesn't do what I want. Well, the fact is that what we feel and what is in the body, I mean, that is really such a big difference. We are so used to high levels of stress that our brain tells us, oh, this is normal. And we have these little things that we say like, oh, you know, stress is necessary. That way you perform best. Well, I agree, stress is necessary to a certain degree. So, but we'll talk about that. Then I'm going to explain a little bit more about what is stress, the heart coherence. That's the one that got me out of my third burnout within 2 months. I have to say I was pretty fanatic in doing the exercises, but it got me out within 2 months. So that's good. And then, of course, there are more ways to prevent stress. We'll go deep diver in that. We do have a lot of research done worldwide, and whatever site you go to, numbers might differ a little bit, but the overall numbers, well, you see it right here, 90, and this is basically done in the US, but we all know how it's at one place, it's basically a little bit more overall globally. So 95% of nurses have reported feline burnings in the last 3 years. That is way, way, way too much. And you can see that it really increased after during basically the pandemic from 15% to 62%. So that is, we have to ring the alarm bells big time. So I'm really glad that Nyampo is basically doing that. She's ringing the alarm bell. A lot of people quit their jobs, and that is also worldwide, and that's why there's a shortage. And when we have a shortage, the other nurses have to work harder because, I mean, again, our heart is connected. We still want it to have to be done with our patients, and so we work harder, leading to our own burnout. So big turnout rates, a lot of fatigue, and yeah, they quit because they feel overworked. But also, it's not only physically demanding, it's also mentally demanding. And I still remember that because I work with cancer patients most of the time. So we deal with a lot of emotions from these people. We deal with death. We deal with families that, I mean, there's all things going on. And we simply deal with it. But in the meantime, it comes in. And well, if you're a normal person, it will touch your heart as well. So it's mentally and emotionally very demanding also. So there are a lot of reasons, causes of stress, and I'm kind of curious, the people who are here, what are your causes of stress? What is basically making you feeling like, gosh, I really, really don't like that, or that you can feel that your stress goes up? Just go ahead and write that in the chat so we can kind of look at that. like curious. So this school workload, yeah, school, when people are still in school, that is there. And even if we're not totally in school, we always will have other courses that we have. The lack of support, that's a very, very big one. And a lot of people don't even think that that is a stressor, but it's a huge stressor. We need support. And that's where we need it from our co-nurses, from the workplace overall, from our family, our friends. Support is very necessary. You can see also that a lot of times we do not say no or yes, and constantly need to give answers to those around me that need direction on every level. Yep, that's also part of our job, but it takes a lot of energy. Unclear tasks. You see, there are a lot of things that are really working with us. And if I know I had another workshop a while ago, and I think there were like 40 different stressor reasons. So these are just a few of them. What we usually do not think too much about is the nutrition and the exercise, how important that is. And we know as a nurse, we run and we walk already a whole lot on a day, but still there's also other exercises that we need to do in a setting where we can relax, like just walking outside or running outside, going to a, how do you call it, sports school, whatever. I don't know how you call them. I'm Dutch, by the way, so sometimes my English is seeking for words. And then another stressor can be health problems, not only ours, but also from the family around us, the people that we take care of. So, stress symptoms. What are your stress symptoms? How do you know in your body or in your behavior or whatever that your stress is going up? Let me know. What are your stresses? Are you aware of your stress symptoms? Because a lot of people are not even aware that they have stress symptoms. They say that more feeling like, oh, this is just something that belongs to me. Excessive tiredness, lack of restful sleep, definitely, yep, big symptoms. Well, we have symptoms on different, being short with others. I just want to say we have them on different ways. We have them physical, like we say here, the feeling tired, the lack of sleep, that is making you tired, that is the insomnia. Also, like all these little aches that we have, all these things like a quick into a flu or having a nose cold, dizziness even belongs to it. That's all on a physical level. There are so many symptoms, aches that we have that can be there. We also have stress symptoms on a psychological level. And one of them, a big one that I mentioned already, is the compassion for our patients as a nurse. And that's not, again, because we want to have that lack, but we just don't have that energy for it anymore. And we kind of go in ourselves like, why? So, but it's just the lack of energy, the mental fog. Yep, very common symptom also. We are unable to unwind, and that is where that the irritability that comes around, feeling agitated, but we also feel insecure in our environment, but also in ourselves, and then we blame ourselves for that. The kind of job that we have even leads to, for a lot of people, to PTSD, because we see heavy stuff. And we talk about heavy stuff with our patients, and that really we can take that into ourselves, and it can lead to the PTSD, depression, anxiety, but also in our behavior, that we really have that short fuse. We're not really listening really nice to people. Our performance goes down. We are making more mistakes even. I know that when things are really, really busy on the floors, mistakes are easily made. And we basically cannot afford us that, because we are there, we're sort of playing with the life of our patients. So mistakes are really not okay. Addictions, What about the coffee? What in a break? We always pick up our phone, do that instead of having a talk, things like that. So we keep running. And then our thoughts, constantly spinning thoughts, even at night, where because of our thoughts, we cannot sleep anymore. And we are very great in making that negative self-talk. One of our biggest stressors is the negative self-talk. We take ourselves down. I'm doing this wrong. I'm not good enough. All those kind of things. I should be able to do more. You are doing your best. You cannot do more than that. You are there with your heart. So really realize you are always doing your best, and more than that, you cannot do. So instead of talking yourself down, I should have done more, you can also tell yourself like, wow, I did a great job because I gave it all. And that's for your whole stress level, such a big difference in what happens in your body. When I talk about stress, like, what is it? That's why I hear people say they either talk about stress symptoms or they're stressors. But what stress actually is nothing more than the event of situation and your reaction on that. It's not the event or situation or person itself. We have a choice how we react to that. We just not always take that choice. Then it does affect your ability to think clearly, react sharply, and function optimally, which we need in our job. It also affects how you feel and how you behave. And at the end, if we keep going, and we keep pushing, our own health is really a problem. And what about our relationships? Our relationships really come down because when we have the short fuse, people just don't want to talk to you anymore. If you have that constantly, they just don't want it and they go at a distance from you. So your relationships, they're really affected by that. And we see that a lot at home because there we feel safe enough to really say whatever comes up in us when we are irritated. Well, our kids, our hubby, they don't like that. And even they can take a distance from you. So not a good thing. One of the things is when we are stressed, we say like, well, it's this or that effect. What we not always realize, it has an effect on 4 different fields. The physical part, we're literally physical, less flexible, but also our condition, our power goes down. Emotional, you hear a lot of people say when they're highly stressed, it's like the emotion is living me instead of that I can regulate my emotion. In high stress, you cannot regulate them. I mean, you start crying like that. You think like, why am I crying even here? So the emotional flexibility goes down, but also your positive vision goes down and your positive feeling. Then mentally, the concentration, the focusing, the looking at things in a different angle, that ability, like, hey, I can look at it this way, but also can maybe think that I can look at it that way. When you are highly stressed, it's like there's one way of thinking and that's it. You're not flexible anymore. And that is really at your job, not a handy thing. And then spiritually, a lot of people forget about this part. We all have our values and the behavior that are with that value. In stress, we kind of forget that value. Just think about moms who are basically having the value, you should not hit your child. But when they're highly stressed and their child is really like that, not in the nicest way, what do a lot of mothers do? Bang. They give this little slap and then they say, you should not do that. And they do it themselves. So the tolerance and the values of others, that one goes down too. So you see, there's a lot of effect on different fields. When we are in a coherent state, which means that we are relaxed, then all of these are going the way we want. You are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual flexible. You are able to live through your values, everything. You are self-regulating basically your whole life that way. Stress, resilience, and performance have a lot to do together. when we are starting to do something, it actually gives us like an enhanced performance. We want to do it. It feels great. We go for it. And so we get more stress hormones in our system, but they're in a way that we perform best and that we get to this maximum result. That's where we feel great. We have the energy, we perform at our best, and we go like, yes, like that. Our problem, though, is that nowadays we either because your own thoughts or because the pressure at your work, we want to stay at that maximum result. Instead of going down and relax again, we stay, we keep performing, we stay at that high level. That leads to an overload on stress hormones. And then you go into a form of reduced performance. And that's where we say like, oh gosh, but I did well. So I know I can do it. I did that for a long time. So maybe I should push it a little bit more. Maybe I should like forget my lunch hour and go and still work that. So I'm back at that optimal result. Well, actually, it only leads to problems. That's where the emotional imbalance starts. And that's where all kind of little symptoms are starting, like the perception and the way we focus. That's where we cannot switch off anymore. But that's also where the relationships get under pressure because we are starting to get that short fuse. And what about these like, oh, my neck is aching, my back, all these little symptoms and problems. So physically, there are things going down too. And then we still keep going because of all the pressure. Yes, I see that little thing, Nyampu, that is a crying thing, but it is what is happening without us even realizing it. Eventually, it does lead to a breakdown. So you never, almost never hear somebody say like, oh, if I keep going like this, in a month, I'm in my burnout. Let's go for it. You never hear someone say that. They're like suddenly like that in a snap, they're in this breakdown and they just cannot do it anytime. Sometimes even people literally cannot move anymore. They're literally frozen and they need other people to get them out of the chair. It can be that bad. And we do not realize it. We don't feel it because we kept going. So not really the best thing. The great thing is that stress is measurable. And that would be the nicest thing if people all over the world would be able to measure the stress so they can see what's going on. So they can see that there's a lot more stress going on than that they realize. And also that they can do something about it, because we can lower our stress within a minute if we learn how to do that. And that's really great if we are able to do that. So stress are being able to be measured in two ways. And the one I'm going to talk about more today is the heart coherence. And you can see here on this one, it's all about the heart rate, a certain balance in the heart rates where we can see whether there's a balance in it. But also in this little one, people can see, hey, how is that? Are my stress hormones and my relaxation hormones, are they working together in a balance, yes or no? So that's all what is visible on the screen. The other one is the being in balance method, the life mind creation scan. And that's actually quantum technology that goes really deep into measuring the body, even up till DNA level, to see exactly where is energy out of balance and how much is it out of balance. But also it will tell you right away on a screen, like what is the reason? Is radiation influencing it? Is food influencing it, and which food? But most of all, what beliefs out of which time of your life are blocking you right now because they're active and they block that energy. So it's real instant measuring and coaching. So, and it's not Lala, it's 50 years of research. It's pure research. So advanced and paralyzed, but okay, it's holistic approach because it can show you everything on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health So, but that's just to mention that, to let you know it's possible to measure it. Today, we're going to go a little bit more into the heart coherence. So we talk about the development from an app and a technique from the HeartMath Institute in California, USA. It's already 30 years of scientific research. What they discovered is, it's nice still people coming in. What they discovered is that stress is first of all visible in the heart rhythm. And they actually, that's what I just showed you, that it's possible to see that instantly on a screen. I do it every day, and I love to see that, what's really going on. It's credible information. Thank you, Niampu. It's cutting edge technology, definitely, definitely. Everything that I do here, show here, is really amazing that it exists, and I'm really happy with it. What a lot of people don't know is that the heart rhythm responds to how you feel instantly. If you feel great, you have a nice heart balance in your heart rhythm. If you feel like, nah, I don't like that, because we think it has to be a huge stressor before we are in the stress reaction. It's not. As soon as we do not like anything, our body goes into the stress reaction, but we don't realize it. And that's not the handiest thing. And the great thing, though, is that with simple exercises, and we are going to do that exercise here, we can influence the heart rhythm, like basically within a minute. We can reduce our stress wherever we are and whatever we do. Well, that is really great if you can do that. Just to know a little bit more about how does that work, the HeartMath Institute did a lot of research, and they had a lot of people having a little device where the heart rate is measured all the time, and these people would do whatever they would do, and they would write that all down. Like here, we have two people in the car, the man and the man and his wife. And you see his heart rate, they're just chatting a little bit, having a good time. And you see that his heart rate is around 60 beats per minute. But then his wife says something he doesn't like. She is telling him how to drive. Well, you know how we all react to that. This man has the same reaction. And of course, it's not the first time that that's happening. And you see that the heart rate goes up instantly to around 90. They start having an irritated talk, and that goes into a fight. And you can see this heart rate goes up and up until it's like 130 constantly. Is there anybody here who realize and can feel that whenever there's like a discussion like that, that the heart rate is going up? Anybody realize that or feel that in their body? Just let me know in the chat. Because it does happen. Well, it's great. It maybe doesn't feel nice, but if you feel it, like Niampu says, at least you know you are in a stress reaction. Well, after 25 minutes of a fight, it starts pounding. Yep, that's where people also say, like, I can feel my heart beat in my throat. So that's when it's really going up. After 25 minutes of fighting, the man says, okay, keep quiet. It is really influencing my driving. It's getting dangerous. So keep quiet. I'll go somewhere and then we can talk. Well, she's quiet and you see the heart rate drops instantly. But you also can see it stays a lot higher, around 100, where it was around 60. And this sometimes we realize that after the fight or whatever is done, but before we know it, it's already gone, that we feel it. But it does stay up. The HeartMath Institute even found out that with high stressors, days after, the heartbeat can still be that high without going down. And that is, well, we all know, we're nurses, we know that does something to our health. So not the best thing. So we need to be able to decrease that heart rate, reduce it instantly. And how does that work with the heart rate? I don't know if people have heard about heart rate variability. Whenever we breathe in, our heart rate goes quicker. When we breathe out, it slows down again. So it's normal then that between every beat, there is a different time. That's what we call the heart rate variability. It constantly varies from going quicker, slower, quicker, slower together with our breathing. It's called the HRV. The HRV is getting more and more known nowadays because it's really telling you something about your physical and your mental health. So having this, I told you it's visible to see it on a screen because you saw I showed you that on that tablet that there is a graphic on the top. Well, how does that graphic go? This is the heartbeat. In the beginning of the breathing, the heartbeat here is around 60. Then the person starts to breathe in and the beating goes quicker until the end of the breathing in. In this example, now it's 90. Then somebody breathes out again and it goes down back to around 60. This difference between how low it is when we start breathing in and then at the top when we are finished breathing in, this distance, the numbers, that is important. The higher that number is, the more healthier you are. And what I see a lot when I have people on this technology and we're measuring the heart rate, I even see people, they do not have more than 5 or 10 difference, which really shows that they are really having basic high stress levels. And what I mean with that is that they constantly are in a high stress level. I always say like, hey, it's going above my head. That's where their stress level usually is. So they really need to do something. If they don't do anything, that's where it will lead eventually to a burnout. So when we are looking to that balance in the heart rate, you can see there's emotions. I told you already, how we feel is how the heart rate will go in a regular or a irregular base. Let's say you feel frustrated. Well, that's not a nice feeling. Then the heart rate goes in a completely chaotic mode, as you can see here. What happens at that moment is that the stress hormones, bang, they go up. 1,400 chemical reactions in your body start instantly. And 2 of them are worth mentioning here. It's the forming of adrenaline and cortisol. Cortisol, I mean, we both need them as well to do things, but this is where they're really, really high. And cortisol has a side effect that most people don't know about. It gives you more fear. It had to do that because earlier days when that tiger came, we needed to feel that fear because that would make us go fight or flight. So we need to feel that fear. But if we are stress having because, I don't know, because there are traffic jam or the workload is too high, I don't need that fight and flight, but I'm still having this fear added. So that's where fear gets more into our whole system. And that influences even more about what we think. Then adrenaline puts our body in the fight-flight reaction. The heart rate goes up, the breathing, etc. And the muscles go tense so we can run or have fight or flight. Needed whenever we are having an issue that our life is threatened. But if we are not in a situation that our life is threatened, the hard workload, that somebody says something we don't like, the traffic jam, things like that, our patients who are emotional and we have to be there and we feel with them, that all puts us in this reaction. And when we are in this reaction, then there are certain things that are kind of shut down in our body. And that is our resilience to fight disease. That's shut down because you don't need that when you need to survive. And the other thing that's shut down is making new healthy cells. Well, all nurses know we have trillions of cells and they need to be replaced all the time. If that's shut down, what's going to happen? That's where our diseases will start. HeartMath Institute figured out by research, we are overall 90% of the time, 90, in this reaction nowadays, even in the night. So you can imagine what that does to your health if that's shut down, working on your health. And that's why they also figured out, and this is worldwide acknowledged also by universities, etc., stress is the underlying reason of 95% of all diseases. And a lot of people do not want to hear that. Because a lot of people say like, oh gosh, Dan, so I am making my own disease up. Well, yes, you do, but you didn't know that. You never realized this. So it's nothing to hit yourself about. It's a fact, but now you know it, now you can do something about it. You know now even more how important it is to do something about stress reduction, okay? The other way, when we are feeling like gratefulness or satisfied, things like that, that's where our heart rate goes into a regular up and down rhythm. Very nice to look at. But it also gives you a great feeling. What happens here is that these stress hormones, they go down, relaxation hormones go up, they are leveled, and they work together. A little bit like stress hormones when I need to perform more, and then a little bit of relaxation hormones when I'm quit with that performance. So they have to work together in a nice way. I always compare it to the gas pedal and the brake pedal in my car. If I have to go from A to B and I have like highways, but I also have traffic lights, I play with both pedals. And if I do that right, I easily come from A to B. But what if I put both feet on both pedals at the same time? My car is not moving. And if I do that long enough, because I really still want to go to B, my car will break down because I keep putting my feet on both pedals. My car breaks down. And our body is no different than a car. When we are in stress, we are basically putting the gas pedal, so all those stress hormones, and the brake pedal, so all the relaxation hormones, we push them both in our body. So it's chaos in the body. And eventually, like we saw above here in that red line, we get sick. So let them work together, that's great. And if they work together, then there's what we call a balance. Other word is coherence. Every system in your body now starts to work together. And that is really, really great because now my head, my brain, my heart, my bowels, my hormone system, everything works together. I feel relaxed and I have clear thinking. I have focus. I'm creative in my thinking. I'm solution-based in my thinking. So that's great. And because I feel relaxed, I have great relationship. And as a nurse, if I feel relaxed, I can see and hear more from my patient what's not said. Because a lot of times they feel pain. And what do they say if you ask, are you having pain? No, I'm okay. But then you are more open to have that also that compassion for them. So a very important thing. So what is that breathing technique that HeartMath did? We're going to do it for a couple of minutes. So let's go for that. You want to do with me? A couple of minutes? A nice heart coherence meditation. Okay, what I want you to do is sit straight. I already saw Crystal going straight up. So sit straight, but in a relaxed way though, and put your hands on your heart. And we all know our heart is not, see a lot of people put their hearts there. That's not where we give CPR. So where we give CPR, that's where your heart is, and that's where we want to put our hands to. And now close your eyes and go with all of your focus to that space underneath your hands, the heart area. And just feel that your chest is going up and down with your breathing. Just observe it. So the focus stays now on the heart area, and every time you realize it's back to thoughts or to my voice or a sound somewhere else, just lovingly bring it back to your heart area. And while you keep the focus there, slow down your breathing, but start doing it a little bit deeper. So you get a slower, deeper breathing rhythm. So now you have a combination of focus on the heart area with a slower, deeper breathing rhythm. And just do that. Focus and breathing. Maybe you can already feel that there's some more relaxation in your body. And because you're focusing on your heart, all those thoughts are going way back down. And when you're focusing on that heart, now feel that feeling of gratitude. Gratitude that your heart is beating for you. You don't even have to think about it. It's simply doing that for you. It's giving you life. And because it's giving you life, it's giving you the possibility to do what you do. Be grateful for that. Be also grateful for you being you. A loving person doing their best to live life to the fullest, to give from the heart. So be grateful for yourself as well. And while you feel that feeling of gratefulness, keep focusing on the heart and a deeper, slower breathing rhythm. That's basically all you keep doing. Feel grateful or another nice feeling like trust, self-confidence, while you keep focusing on the heart and the deeper breathing rhythm. Just feel how your body relaxes down. And even if you get distracted by other things, which is normal, simply lovingly go back to the heart. And when you're ready, slowly come back to the place where you're at. Take a deep breath and be here again. So how was that? What did that do for you? To take this time for yourself, these few minutes, just you, your heart, your gratefulness. How did that feel? Did it make you feel a little bit more relaxed? Deep relaxation. I feel relaxed, calm, nice. This is basically the easy, serene. Oh, I love that word. It's as simple as this is. That's all you need. If you would be able to do this simple exercise for 15 minutes a day, preferable in the evening, your stress levels can go down tremendously in a couple of weeks. If you're even able in between to do this 1 minute, it helps you tremendously at that moment. The more you do this, the more the brain gets used to the exercise. And then when we are busy, even when we're doing our job, and we feel like stress is building up a little bit, or we know there's something happening that I don't like, you can simply, while doing what you do, as long as you don't talk, you can go split second with the attention to your heart, and you simply start doing this slower, deeper breathing. Instantly, stress will go down. Maybe not to Zen. You don't need Zen when you're at work, but it will let you stay away from this really building up stress level. It will slow it down. And it makes you being more able to do your work with attention, to see and listen to your patient, to see and listen to yourself, and feel your own emotions and let them be there. It's simply as it is. And if you do it at night, it really makes you sleep better. The whole regeneration of your body will be more. So you will get more energy, definitely. So yeah, see if you can do this exercise. And time for myself to myself. I love that one. I'm going to steal that from you, Nyampu. Time for myself to myself. I love that one. So what you can see here is how we went from a stress rhythm. Well, it's not how we went. This is an example how you can go from a stress rhythm into a nice balanced rhythm, basically instantly. We can see it here because this says something about the balance in a heart rhythm. This is really not balance. This is a stress rhythm, but you can see like instantly it goes up into a very balanced rhythm. That's how we can influence our heart rate, how we can influence our whole health. So I would recommend this to everybody. Just a simple thing about how thoughts will influence our stress. Because I said already, when we have a certain thought, we have a feeling. Think something nice, you feel great. Think of something you don't like, you don't feel nice. So the feeling is the one who creates the heart rhythm, whether that is balanced or not. But you all know, so it's thought, then you get a feeling. The feeling will give a change in the heart rhythm. What a lot of people don't know is that the heart tells the brain what to do with the body, whether to put it in a stress state or in a relaxed state. We all know that the brain will do that to the body, but nobody knows, well, a lot of people don't know that the heart tells the brain what to do. So that's where you know that it's important to change your heart rhythm yourself. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. I love that, Nyampu. Thank you so much. That's great because it's totally true. So really know that what you think is very important to realize. They always say like, hey, you need to have more positive thoughts. Well, positive thoughts only is not enough. You have to make sure you combine that with the feeling. And even if you don't feel the feeling, if you intend to feel the feeling, you can make sure the body knows what to do. It will go in there, even if you don't realize it. So that way you can also change your heart rhythm and change the signal to the brain and change the output in your body, stress or relax. It's basically that easy. It's just training to do it. And this is something you can do at your job all the time. You can do it while you're at home all the time. You can even do that when you're in your car, on your bike, when you're walking, always. Okay? Well, besides the heart coherence, there are a lot more tips to reduce stress. Know your stressors, and wherever it's possible to delete it, do it. There's a lot of people who are always constantly busy with negative talking. Stay away from that. Go away from them, if you can, of course. Then know your stress symptoms. If you start to observe your stress symptoms, you will realize more and more what they are. Acknowledge that they are there and do something about it. At that moment, take 1 moment, 1 minute of doing this basic exercise that I just did with you. Then in the evening, take 15 minutes targeted stress reduction actions like the heart coherence. If you can do it in between, yes, great. Network problems, connection. Yep, that can happen. So, but luckily there is a recording. Okay, then eat healthy, because we eat nowadays so much crap that really influences our whole system in a very negative way. It's a stressor because the body needs to do something. It needs to work with it. So then sleep your 8 hours a night. Really, everybody knows how important sleep is. It's really more important than a lot of people realize, actually. Work on the mindset. So see if you can start thinking more in the positive way. As soon as you realize you're thinking in a negative way, see if you can change it around. Also, ring the bell in time. What's bothering you? That's the support we were talking about earlier. I keep working with this chat thing. That's the support we need at home, at our job. I mean, we need to talk about what's going on. So when we talk about it, we can reduce stress already by that by itself, and we get the support which is needed. Then have enough relaxation. I have to admit, a relaxation, they figured that out, the hardness, not the same as stress reduction, but it still is a lot more important than having stress. And then what can we do for our team? Observe each other. We do not realize ourselves that our stress levels are going up, but we do see it a lot easier in other people. Tell them, talk about it, and do something. Like in a team, you can say, hey, we're going to start our day with like a 5-minute stress reduction exercise. That is tremendously big, helping how you start your working day, but also your day at home. So reduce stress before you get into a burnout. Really great results if you really take stress, or do stress reduction, if you practice that a lot. True relaxation. When I was in my burnout, in that time, I was in there 8 years now. A lot of times I thought like, hey, I feel relaxed until I started doing this. That's where I figured out that my relaxing feeling was because it was going from this level to there. Well, going this much low already feels relaxed. When I started doing stress reduction, I went down and down and down. And guys, wow, this is how real relaxation feels. That's where real peace of mind and body starts. So it will give you an increased overall health, again, because you can fight your diseases again. The relationships, I told you that a couple of times already, and especially in a team at your job, it gives you a better team. It gives you better working together. It gives a total different energy on the working floor. The passion to take care of your patients, it will come back and makes you doing your job with a lot more pleasure again. You also can handle daily challenges so much easier. A lot of challenges that are usually you go like, oh gosh, I don't like that, will come by at one moment. Oh, that happened. Oh, I didn't even care about that anymore. You also will be aware a lot quicker that your stress is increasing. And because stress levels are down, we have less cortisol, so less fear adding. It makes our thoughts already by itself more positive. And when we have more positive thoughts, we have more self-confidence and especially a lot more joy and fun in our life. And because we're less sick, there's a lot of reducing healthcare costs, which is maybe you not working for you, but definitely for your whole floor, the whole hospital, because then it gives money for other things, possibilities. So your call to action, start stress reduction today. You have a nice exercise, you did it, and start preventing your own burnout. Observe your stressors, you can start doing that today. Delete what you can. Start that healthy lifestyle, like we mentioned before, including those positive thoughts. Observe your thoughts. You will realize how many times they're in a negative way. Train yourself to be more into the positive way and feel it. And then again, motivate each other at the work floor to reduce stress and watch out for signs at coworkers. So, well, that was the presentation. Are there any people or is anybody who has questions? The benefits of stress, including illness prevention, reduction, self-awareness. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Nice. Anybody having questions? I think we're nicely in time, exactly. So.
Ooh, Carla, I feel so relaxed, so empowered.
Great.
Oh, great, great, excellent presentation.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah, feeling empowered, that's what it does. It gives you this empowered feeling because your self-confidence will really go up. And that gives you more power to yourself. But it also gives you more love to yourself, the heart coherence. And we are really, as nurses, we take care about everybody except ourselves. So we need that. So, well, thank you very much, Nyampu, for giving me the opportunity to tell this to people. And I really hope a lot of people have benefit from it.